Hello everyone. Today we have Mr. Sudip Mondal with us, and Sudip has recently joined, means in July 2024, he has joined Accenture as a senior analyst. And prior to joining Accenture, Sudip has completed his master's in systems and control engineering from IIT Bombay. So today we will get to know more about his journey of getting placed in Accenture. So thank you so much, Sudip. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Sudhakar. Thanks for welcoming me into this session. So, hello everyone. I am Sudip Mondal, and I have done my bachelor's in electrical engineering. And after that, I have done my post graduations from IIT Bombay in Systems and Control Engineering department. And after that, I have been selected into Accenture operations as AIML computational science senior analyst. So recently, I have joined Accenture and I'll be happy to answer all your queries.
Okay. Yeah, I think it has been almost a month now since you joined Accenture. Even less than a month,
Yeah,
I would say.
less than a
Yeah,
month.
less than a month. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, can you please tell us a bit about this role, like
Yeah.
AIML senior analyst? What is this role about? What are the various expectations, responsibilities of this job role? And if you could also walk us through the technical skills required for this role. Yeah.
So as the title suggests, it is based on AIML only. So in the job description that was published before the placement, in the JAF, it was mentioned that they need a person who is very good in Python, in
Okay.
basics of machine learning, deep learning models, and mostly in NLP things. So the company focused mostly on the LLM models. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was mentioned in the JAF that the person should be good in all those topics.
Okay.
So that is what about the job description for this job role.
Okay. And if you talk about technical skills, so only Python was required for
Yeah,
this role.
yeah,
Any other thing, like for example SQL or data science knowledge, something like this?
yeah. Like SQL was not mentioned even in the interview. They didn't ask any question or based on SQL. They were
Okay.
mostly focused toward Python.
Okay. So as you mentioned, it was mainly about like NLP, large language
Hmm.
models, machine learning concepts, and so on. And
Mhm.
if you talk about the programming skills, they were mainly looking for the students good in Python.
Yeah. So like in
Okay.
Python, you need to have knowledge in all those data manipulation techniques in pandas, in numpys, and all those things. So they were asking mostly question on pandas.
Okay. Okay. So means you are talking about the various packages or libraries in Python
Yeah.
like Matplotlib, NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn,
Mm-hmm.
and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we will talk a bit about like how you prepared for these things. But before that, I would like to know, was this profile open for all the students at IIT Bombay or only for specific department it was open?
No, it was open for all the departments.
Okay. Means
Yeah.
bachelor's, masters, everyone.
Yeah, bachelor's, master's, even PhDs, for also PhDs, it was also open.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
so now we can talk about the recruitment process. So what
yeah.
happened first once you signed the JAF, that is the job
Mhm.
application or announcement form, then what were the various steps involved in the recruitment process?
So the very first round was a resume shortlisting round. So they shortlisted many resumes and they asked for the interview for those resumes only. So
Okay.
after resume shortlisting, there were three rounds. The first round was
Okay, so means resume shortlisting and then there was no written test.
no.
Okay. So what was the various criteria? Like did they specify any CPI cutoff while shortlisting the resume, or what
No,
was the basis of resume shortlisting? Do you know about?
No, there was no CPI cutoff. Mostly they were looking into resume that the student has knowledge in machine learning, deep learning, and NLP or not. So
Okay.
the students who has this type of knowledge in machine learning, deep learning, they were shortlisted.
Okay. Means right after resume shortlisting, then the students shortlisted for the interview, that list was announced.
Yeah,
Okay. And this was the only role, or Accenture had offered any other roles also, like for campus placements?
yeah. So Accenture also came for a data analyst role, but they
Okay.
didn't take anyone for that role. So they were only hiring for this AIML role,
Okay, means they had two roles. One is AIML and one is the data analyst.
data
But data
analyst. Yeah.
analyst, they did not hire anyone. All the
Mhm.
hirings was done for this particular thing. Okay. So
Yes.
was the interview shortlisting like for common for these two profiles or separate for these two profiles?
It was separate for these two profiles.
Okay, and you had applied for both or for only one?
No, no, for this AIML.
Okay, you applied for only for AIM. Okay,
Yeah,
so right after resume shortlisting, you got shortlisted for the interview, and then
yeah.
the interview would have happened like when it happens in the month of December. Okay,
Mhm.
so we will talk about the interviews, but before that, like given that you are from systems and control, and so how did you learn like machine learning concepts? Did you learn these things in your master's courses, or did you take some courses online, other things? How did you learn about these things?
So, like from my bachelor's only, I was very interested in this machine learning and deep learning field. Even in my bachelor's, the project was on deep learning.
Okay,
So I had like a little bit idea about those machine learning concepts. And in the first semester itself, I took a deep learning course from IUR department.
at IIT
So
Bombay.
yeah, at IIT Bombay.
Okay.
And after that, I took another course on NLP, that is from CSE department of IIT Bombay by Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya. And after that, like in the second sem only, I took another course from CSE department that was on computer vision.
Okay.
So like that was the main mode of learning for me for this deep learning and NLP topics. And apart from that, there are various YouTube channels that I used to follow. So there are very famous YouTube channels. From there, everyone can learn all the machine learning concepts. Apart from that, I did some courses from Coursera, from deeplearning.ai. So from the instructor Andrew Ng. So I did their machine learning specialization course. So all this thing really have helped me to understand, to get a better understanding of this ML and deep learning things. So yeah, that is the resource that I've used for learning all these topics.
Okay, so I believe that the courses which you opted for while studying at IIT Bombay, like from IO or CS department,
Hmm.
those courses were very important to
Yeah.
prepare for this profile. Because I
Yes.
believe at IIT Bombay, the courses also have some projects or some
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
assignments which help you to learn the concepts. Okay. And how about Python? How did you learn Python? Because of these
Okay.
assignments only, or did you take some another course for learning Python?
Okay. So I didn't take any course for Python. So all the course projects involved very good knowledge in Python. All
Oh,
the
okay.
courses
Okay.
in their assignments, in their projects, you need to have a very good knowledge in Python. So from there only I gathered this Python knowledge. And also like I used to follow some YouTube channels like who has very good tutorials on Python. So
Okay.
those things has helped me. And also there are many coding platforms like HackerRank, LeetCode. All these things are very important for company placements. So yeah, so these are the modes of learning Python.
Okay, so I believe the courses at IIT Bombay and then the various YouTube channels. Do you want to name those channels? Do you remember the names of those
Yeah,
channels?
yeah. So very one very good channel is by Navin Reddy. The
Okay,
channel name is Telescope.
okay,
So in this channel, you will find that a very a very brief and elaborate understanding of Python.
okay.
So that is a very good channel to learn Python.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, so of course the online like nowadays there is I think very good amount of resource
Mm.
available online. You just have to find out which one interests you the most. And yeah, at IIT Bombay you have the flexibility to study courses from other departments also.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
that is a very like good option for the
Yeah,
students.
that really helped me into getting this
Yeah.
job. So yeah,
Right, right, true. So that way you got to learn the concepts and programming part, right?
yeah.
Yes, Sudip. So now we can talk about the interview rounds actually. And as you mentioned
Mhm.
that right after resume shortlisting, there was interview only. There was no written test in between.
Mhm.
So yeah, can you please walk us through the various interview rounds and what was the focus of each and every round?
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the like there were three rounds, and those three rounds were taking place in one day only. So in the
And
morning,
this was in-person interview or online interview?
it was online interview.
Online interview. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So the very first round was like someone our manager from Accenture came into in the interview, and she was mainly walking through my resume, and she was asking key what projects you have done, explain me this project. So the very first round was very was not too hard, I would say. she was only asking me about the project that I have done and about the courses that I have done, and also some deep learning knowledge, like basics of deep learning, like if you know about CNN, what is this LSTM network, what is RNN. So that were very basic questions that she was asking, and mostly the focus was on the projects that I have done. So my projects involved all these things. So she was quite impressed to see my projects that I've done in IIT Bombay, and so that was very easy for me to crack the first round.
Okay.
In the second round,
So
it
what was
was
the duration of this round? The duration of this round?
around 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. And they were mainly talking about the various projects on your resume.
Yeah, yeah. So she was
Okay.
just checking how this project aligns with the company's project,
Right.
what I
Right.
feel.
Okay.
So like we had a very good discussion on how to train LLM models on
Oh.
local computers and all those things. Yeah.
Or any programming concepts, as in write any code or something like that
No,
in this
no.
round?
In the second round, it was more on the programming part.
Okay, but in the first round,
Yeah.
they were talking about your course projects or the things mentioned on your resume only.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they also ask any question on your master's project, that is MTP, the thesis project?
Yeah. So MTP, they didn't ask any question because my MTP was not aligned to this NLP thing. So it was based on
Okay.
computer vision.
Okay.
So they might have not found it interesting to for
Okay.
them.
Aligned to their interest. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So that's why they were mainly talking about the various course projects.
Hmm.
Anything like any at any point, like was there any question where you felt a bit stuck, or
Yeah.
you think you could not answer it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were very supportive. Like once they asked me about some regex expression. So
Okay.
regex I've used only once in a project. I didn't had very good knowledge in regex. I told them ki, yeah, I know regex that it is used for text data and all those things. And she said, yeah, yeah, it's fine. If you don't know, it's okay. So
Okay.
the interview was very chill, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So
Yeah.
so then after this round, there was next round of interview.
Mm.
Okay. So what happened in that particular round?
Okay. The second round was a bit longer round. So in that,
Okay.
a person came and he was mainly focusing on the coding part. And even there, he asked me about like OOPS concept in Python. Like
Okay.
he went to data structure also. So that was a bit surprising for me that in AI/ML interview they are asking data structures. But I had some knowledge in data structures that helped me to pass that round. So
Okay.
mostly he was asking from pandas, like how will you manipulate data using pandas? How will you use where and group by all those commands in pandas, and also in text preprocessing. Like he
Okay.
was asking mostly on how you preprocess text data
Okay.
using this regex and all those libraries that are available in Python. And also he asked me about some data structure concepts like sorting algorithm. Like he asked me what sorting algorithm do you know? I
Okay.
told him I know this thing. He
Okay.
told me write the code for this.
Okay.
So yeah. So the second round was a bit hard, I would say. It was
Okay.
mostly focusing on the coding part,
Okay. And it was somewhat more than an hour or close to an hour.
close to an hour.
Okay. And that was totally about programming, various
Yeah.
concepts in programming, data structures, algorithms, classes,
Hmm.
objects, and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So did they also like was the questions being asked verbally, or they also asked you to write code?
Yeah, the question was asked verbally, but I have to write the code in the chat. Like he used to check what I am writing.
So the full code or just the pseudo code?
Full code only. Like
Okay,
you have to
full
write the
code.
full code. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And that they did not provide any like hacker rank link or something.
No,
You
no,
had to
no.
type in the chat itself.
Yeah.
If you talk about data structure, so did they like ask about linked list, stack queue, or what data structures they were looking for?
No, like stack queue, they only asked question ki, do you know about stack and queue? Tell me what is stack and queue. Uh, Nothing very deep, I would say. Like if you have a broader understanding of data structure, it is enough for cracking this round.
Okay,
They were mostly looking into searching algorithm, sorting algorithm, and mostly in the text preprocessing part, like how you will preprocess that text. Like if you are given a text data, how will you fetch a phone number from that data?
Okay.
So these were the types of questions that were asked in that interview.
Yeah, I did remember that you in beginning you had mentioned that you had programming assignments in those courses from machine learning.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
did practicing those assignments help you in this round? Or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, it is obvious that like if you are coding in Python during your assignments, then that will really help you during the interview also.
okay,
So they were also checking, like they started with very basic thing, like very basic in the sense they started with for loops, like if you
okay,
are able to interpret for loops or not. After that, when they understood that, yeah, I know for loop, then they went deep into that. After that, they went into OOPS concept, class and object concept. After that, sorting algorithm, searching algorithm. After that, into text preprocessing. So
okay.
they started from very basic and
Very
went very deep.
basics. After these two rounds, what happened after these two rounds?
Okay, so after this two round, there was third round that was HR round.
Okay,
So yeah, so HR round was pretty short, about 15 to 20 minutes. So the HR came and like asked me about my PORs.
okay,
Like I had many PORs during my masters. So she asked mostly on my POR, like what you have done and what is it all about. After that, she asked some generic question like, what do you feel in communication is a must?
okay,
So I told her ki, yeah, in communication you have to follow these things, and it was very generic questions that I would say.
okay.
So HR round was pretty easy.
Yeah, I think
Like the
typical HR round, right?
yeah,
Okay,
so the most hard part was the second round, and most of the like the shortlisting, like the selection was based on the second round, I would say.
okay, okay.
Like
Yeah,
most of the people got rejected from the second round.
second round, right,
Yeah.
right. So there were these three rounds, like two
Hmm.
technical rounds and one HR round.
Hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And just to summarize for the audience, the first round was mainly about your resume, the various things which you have mentioned in your resume. And the next tech round was about programming. They were from foundation to the advanced level concept they were checking. And third was typical HR round. They were just checking like typical HR round, as like we can say. And that was a very short round of discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, you got the offer, right? Like you got
Yes.
selected.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember how many students were selected for this role, this AIML role?
Yeah. Only two people were selected.
Oh, okay. You and
Yes. And another person from Sitara department.
okay, Sitara department.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So only two people were selected for this particular
Yeah.
role. And for data analyst, they did not hire anyone.
No, no, no.
Okay, Sudip. So I think, yeah, we have covered the placement, the recruitment process in great detail. Now I have one last thing for you. That is nowadays AI/ML is kind of very trending. It's trending for I think last couple of years now. So every student wants to get into this role or similar roles they want to get into. And especially when it comes to pursuing masters, so they think, okay, in masters I can switch from a field to AI/ML role. They also look for a transition.
Hmm.
So, do you have any advice for them? Like, how should they prepare such that they land up for these roles? How should they prepare?
Okay, so when you are coming for a master's, then from the very first sem itself, you start preparing your resume. So from the first sem, you should try for courses that has many projects in that, so that you can add in your resume. And from the very first sem, take a decision on your career that on which domain you want to be.
Right.
So after first sem, the third sem the placement season will start, and you don't have to choose like on which field you want to go. So
Right.
from the beginning only decide on your career, and from the first sem start taking courses that has projects in that. Company mostly focuses on the projects that
Right.
are in your resume.
Right.
And another advice that I'd like to give is be good in coding. So I've seen many people that after this chat GPT and all those things, they just do all the coding by chat GPT and they paste the code and
Right.
the code seems working. But in the interview, it might happen the interviewer should might ask you to write the code. In
Right.
that case, you'll be in danger. So be good in coding, have the basic knowledge of machine learning and deep learning. After that, you can go into the specialization of NLP, computer vision,
Right.
but be good in the basics of ML and DL. So if you fail in that, then after then the interview might not go on till this NLP and computer vision.
Yes.
So yeah, so that is what I would like to say. Be good in coding and start building your resume from the first semester. Take courses that has many projects. So and projects that should be relevant to the industry. So
Right.
like for me, the projects that I did, they were mostly from research papers. So in the courses that I enrolled, they gave some research paper and you have to replicate that and do some modification on that. So that really helped me during the interview. So yeah, that's all about what I
Right.
would like to say to the students. Yeah.
So I think courses, projects, and of course, as you mentioned, that do the assignments with sincerity. Do not
Yeah.
copy paste somewhere, or do not use Chat GPT or any kind of cheating. Will not help you, even if you score well. But in the interview, actually, you will have a tough time. So it's good that
Yes.
you write the code on your own. And as you mentioned, that projects really play a very important part. So that's why you should go for the courses which have a project as a part of the evaluation of that particular course. And yes, even if someone gets a good internship which aligns with their interests, so that would also be a good thing
Yes.
to add to their resume, right? Yeah, so it's
Yes.
all about projects, courses, and your consistency, your sincerity, like how do you do the
Mhm.
assignments. It should, like, yeah, you should be very honest in those assignments.
Yeah, if you are taking any course in IIT and you are doing all the assignments and the projects by yourself, then
Right.
that is good enough to land in a company.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I think one very important thing that you mentioned is that you should decide upon your domain in the very
Yeah.
first semester.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, yeah, like, because in case of masters, you don't get enough amount of time. Like, you just have 2 semesters, and then in third sem you have your placements. So
Hmm.
if you make up your mind in the first sem only, then you have 2 semesters to go for the courses and the projects, so that you build your resume very impactful.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, your advice would help the upcoming students, and that would definitely help. That would also motivate them, because like, you did your master's in systems and control,
Yes.
but you managed to study courses from IEOR, CSE, and so on. You could also learn Python, advanced Python, I would say, and you could crack the interview. So of course, this journey would motivate them, and that would also give them a path, like how they can land up into these roles or similar roles.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sparing your time and sharing your experience with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Sudhakar. So I'll be always happy to help the juniors.